Okay, so now we're going to learn how to do a pivot table that has two variables. So this can be good for making nice histograms, can be nice for making some bar graphs, can be nice even for looking at just totals of um, two sets of variables. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a pivot table. We're going to look at how old, so age versus some kind of category that people have answered. So we're going to organize it by how people answer these questions by age groups. Okay, so we're going to grab, again, just any old little spot like that. Doesn't matter where you are. I try to put it into the area that I'm going to focus in on, but you don't have to. Just click on any old cell in Google Sheets. Then you're going to go into data. You're going to make that pivot table. Okay, so you're going to scroll down to pivot table, and now you're going to create a new sheet, or again, make an existing sheet. So your call. Okay, so I'm going to create a new sheet, and now I've got my rows and columns and values. Again, it gives you all these suggestions over here. It tries to take a guess at what you want to look at, but you can make whatever you want. So I'm going to add my rows. I'm going to call my rows my age. So I'm going to go to that age one of how old are you? So I'm going to click on how old are you? That's going to give me all those age groups. So now I've got all those age groups that filled out that survey. And now I'm going to focus in on my columns. So I'm just going to pick one that's early on. You can really go anywhere you want to, but I'm going to pick, let's say, trails. Deal with how often do you use the trails in Uxbridge? Okay. So that's going to give me my options of never, often, sometimes, and then the grand total. So I've got three options people were choosing: never, often, and sometimes. Okay. So just be careful when you see that, because that's a never, often, and sometimes. Really, the sometimes should be in the middle here. So just keep that in mind when you're building tables later on. Okay. All right. So we're here. Now I'm going to add my value, so it'll automatically count for me. Okay. So I'm going to go in here, and I want to have my values for, we did the trails one, correct? Yes. So now it's going to add up all the trails things for me. If that didn't pop up for you, just go over here again to the summarize by section and pick the count A. Sometimes it's set to some or something else, but so just go here and that will do that for you. And you're all kind of set with that. So now you have this lovely little thing here where you have a pivot table and you've got everything added up, so you don't have to do the little counting and calculating for the large set of data. Again, we've got 226 people that have answered this one, so that's pretty good. Now, next little thing you're going to do is you're going to turn this into some kind of chart. So again, you want to focus in on the titles here, and then the numbers. So we don't want to go all the way to grand total, because that'll add it into the actual graph of whatever we're doing. So we're just going to stop at the sometimes, and we're just going to highlight all this data here. Okay, so we've got our categories, we've got our never, often, sometimes, and then we have all the adding up of all that. Now we're going to go into our lovely insert chart. Okay, so I can go insert chart, or I can go insert chart over here. Same thing. Okay, so we're going to do that, and now it's going to pick something for me. So it's got a nice little stacked column chart here. It works pretty well. I mean, I would probably go in and change some colors, because it's kind of all over the map there with colors, but you can kind of figure out how you want to edit this as you go through. Remember, if you don't like a certain color, you can always just click on it, and then it'll take you right over there, and you can decide what you would like to have that one be. You can also go in and change things like title just by clicking on it, so we don't have the actual whole thing, but maybe we just want the actual question. Or we could say, we could give it a real title, like how often Uxbridge residents use parks and trails, or just this one's just trails. So we would probably want to get rid of the actual park one too. Okay, so you have to kind of think about what your data is showing and make sure that you are titling that properly. Okay. Other thing you could do if you don't like this the way it is, okay, if you don't like it, you can always go in here and you can always edit the chart, and you can pick something else. So if you didn't like the stack column chart, you can go in and pick any old one that you like. It will give you some different things to choose from. But if I want just a column chart, for example, it'll go into there and you're all set. All right. Hope that helped. Cheers.